Welcome everybody to our Tactical Tuesday. I just realized I was muted there. So we have an awesome topic today. I'm super excited about it. It's just me. Tiffany's taking the night off tonight. But I'm going to be sharing a couple of videos with you tonight, stuff that we've done in the past. And there's a ton of lessons that we're going to learn from it. And it all has to do with our JV meeting. So you got a little bit of interest, you planted some seeds. Now somebody's slightly interested. And this is raising capital, guys. So this could be JV, this could be a private lender, this could be whatever. How do we talk to them? What do we say if we're going to meet them for a coffee? That's what we're talking about today. We're going to show you what to do. But here's the catch. Tonight, we're going to show you a video that we actually did almost 10 years ago. And this is a what not to do in this JV meeting. And this is something that we rarely share. And we thought we would share it tonight because there's a lot of good stuff we can get from it. So I'm going to be looking for asking you guys some questions, a lot of audience participation tonight as we go through this material. So I see everybody saying hello all the way from St. John in Ontario and BC and Alberta. So thanks for saying hi as you come on, guys, and letting us know where you're from. That's super cool. Yeah, so tonight, your JV meeting, you're sitting down with somebody. Usually we suggest going to a coffee shop, something like that, not making it a lunch, not making it a dinner, just a brief meeting. See if you're on the same page, see if you click a little bit. Answer some questions and move on from there. So you're not really expecting a full commitment after this meeting. That sometimes comes a little bit later, but you want to just kind of get together and see if you're on the same page, see if your thoughts align. And working together could be something that you could do in the future. But what do you say at that meeting? What do you prepare for that meeting? If you're the person trying to raise capital, trying to find a money partner, what do you say? And here's the thing, guys. Lots of people go into these meetings. We went into these meetings. We did over 100 of them, we are sure of. And you're nervous. You're sitting there. You're nervous because, for one, this is somebody that could potentially change your life if they invest with you. And you don't want to blow it, right? You don't want them to say no. You don't want to leave without a commitment. You don't want to. So, there's a lot of nerves and pressure sometimes at these meetings. But here's the deal. And you've heard us say this a million times. Let's make these things as simple as possible. So what are some things we can do to simplify this meeting, to make sure you're going in prepared and you're doing and saying the right things? So we're going to share with you a what not to do. So this is an example. This is a reenactment that Tiffany and I did a while back, and it was on stage, so it's recorded from the audience view. And you're going to see Tiffany in this example is the person that is looking for money. Okay, so she's the working partner. In this example, I'm the money partner. That's what we're acting out in this scenario, doing this role play. So how is this meeting going to go? And what are some of the mistakes that she makes during this meeting? I want you guys, if you have a pen and paper, go grab it, make some notes. This video is about 6 minutes long. And it's a what not to do. And I want you to pick out, as we watch this together, pick out some points or mistakes that Tiffany made in this presentation, okay? This is going to be a lot of fun because after we're done this, I want to hear from you. I want your opinion. What did Tiffany do wrong? Put it in the comments. As we're watching, if you notice something, throw it in the comments. I want to see that you guys are picking this out because some of the mistakes are glaringly obvious, but some of them are a little more subtle. So pay attention and see what you can find, okay? So we're going to get started right away, and I'm going to share this video with you, and I hope you have a pen and paper and you can make some notes, or at least comment in the comments here and let us know what you are noticing that she is doing wrong. So here we go, guys. We're starting this a little ways into the video, but we're just about to get going. So here we go, and this is what not to do. Earlier, we were talking about doing the pitch, so the 60-second pitch to get the meeting. Well, now you've made it to the meeting. And I'm the potential joint venture partner.
Hi. Are you Corey?
I am.
Yeah. Hi, Corey. I'm Tiffany. I'm so sorry I'm late.
That's okay.
Traffic. Is it okay if I just grab a coffee?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. I will be right back. Okay. Okay. I can calm down now if I have a coffee. So thank you for that. That's really good. Traffic was crazy. I'm sorry. Anyways, traffic was crazy.
Yeah, it is bad.
So, okay. Let me just kind of, I guess, take a minute to get ready, if that's okay. Is that all right with you?
Sure. Okay.
So, well, first of all, I would like to congratulate you today on your taking your financial future into your own hands and that of your families. And I know that I'm able to be a vehicle for you that you will not want to, go by. So I'm really very proud of your efforts today and your time.
Okay.
Yeah. So first of all, we should talk about why to invest in real estate. So the top 3 reasons to invest in real estate I have right here. One of them is leverage, and it's like when you have a little bit of money and you're able to get a whole bunch out of it. It's a very good thing. Economic fundamentals is the number 2 thing. So being able to understand everything in what's driving the market is good, right? Edmonton's very good for that. Mortgage pay down and cash flow, because you get so much out of real estate, and you get both, right? So it's a no-brainer, of course. We know that. So now that we know why real estate, we also should talk about why Edmonton. I mean, the numbers show it, right? We know the numbers. The numbers say it's number 1 in North America. So, why not? It's not too expensive yet in Alberta. So we're getting in like under the radar. We're going in before it all hits. And then of course oil. Do I have to say more? Oil, money, right. So I wanted to show you too. I brought with me a whole bunch of information. And this information, it's got all kinds of stuff. I gotta show you these headlines. Alberta's perfect storm. It says here, it's as good as it gets, with Canada's lowest unemployment rate, fastest economic growth, highest input and disposable income per capita, fastest growing retail sales and automotive sales, a budget surplus. This Marie Christine, she's an economist for, anyways, she says that it's as good as it gets in Alberta. And so that's why I'm investing here.
Okay.
And this one talks about RSPs.
Oh, yeah.
And how it's better than RSPs. So, for example, this said in 2002, the number was 5.99, and in 2012, it was 27.1.
Oh.
So it's very good. So, and I have a whole bunch of extra articles that maybe I can go through with you after. And you can see I keep track of all the economics of everything, government net assets of Alberta. It's very, very good compared to most provinces. And affordability, we're very good in it. We're under what most are.
Okay.
So it's very good. And so I have a whole bunch of things that I could show you in here. And I'll just show you the one that's for you.
Okay.
So this property here, the numbers are unbelievable. There's a whole bunch of information which we can go through at another time, but the return on investment, it's like unbelievable. So for example, in your RSP, you might get 3 or 4%, but in this, probably, if we look at it with these numbers, we're going to probably get 80% in 1 year.
Oh.
Pretty amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, don't you think?
Well, yeah, that's a great number.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so how much money do you have to invest?
Well, You know, I'm not really sure whether this is right for me yet. I'm not really sure yet.
How about mortgages? How many mortgages could you qualify for?
You know, I haven't really, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay, no problem. You know, your financial future is a very big decision to make. And so I understand that you might need a little bit of time to decide this. But the diversified and growing market in Edmonton is one that you most probably want to take advantage of. So why don't I give you a call within 4 or 5 days, and we'll make another appointment to discuss any concerns or any questions that you may have.
Well, you know, I'm actually going away for a couple of weeks, and I'll probably, how about if I call you?
Well, that sounds great. I will wait your call.
All right, guys. So there is a example of what not to do. And I loved all the comments coming through as we were watching that together. And you guys nailed it on the head as far as all the things that she was doing that was wrong. And you know what? It's not that some of us do all of those things in one presentation and we do them all wrong. But even sometimes if we do one or two of those things and we get them wrong, it can kind of throw the presentation off. So in a couple minutes here, I'm going to show you what to do, an example of what to do in a presentation. But before we get to that, I just want to make sure that we cover all the basis of the things that we shouldn't be doing in our meeting. And you guys covered a lot of it here in the comments. First off, starting at the very beginning, she showed up late. Think about it. What does that tell you when somebody that you might look to invest with, and they can't be there on time at the very least, or be there ahead of you? And you know, she was all frazzled at the very beginning because she wasn't on time, right? And unfortunately, that can be common. And sometimes, okay, sometimes there's a real legit excuse for it, but most of the time there isn't. If we plan ahead properly, if this is an important meeting for us, we're going to plan to be there 20 minutes in advance. And, you know, one of the things that Tiff usually suggests that worked for her was to be there a good half hour in advance, take out a book, start reading a book. It was either on real estate or maybe it was just a fun book to read. She would start reading a book. That would help her to relax. It would help to maybe get her mind a little bit off, get her nerves calmed down. So being there ahead of time can be absolutely brilliant. So you guys got that part of it. Absolutely. She was frazzled to begin with. She didn't explain anything clearly, did she? She didn't know her numbers. She was just kind of glazing over things and you know, using catchphrases. Do you remember what she started out with? She was congratulating me on my financial, you know, like taking my financial future into my hands. You know, those kind of buzzwords. What do we do when we hear that kind of stuff? A lot of times we just shut off for everything else that is going to be said after that. So we don't want to use those kinds of buzzwords. We want to have more of a conversation is what we're looking to have. And you'll notice that in the next presentation we're going to show you. Yeah, lack of questions, lack of eye contact. You know, she wasn't really respecting what it was that I was interested in. She wasn't asking me what I was looking for. She was more telling me what she thought was important. Maybe I don't care about economics, or I don't care about, you know, statistics. Maybe I care more about the person, and I still didn't know anything about her. So we don't want to be going into these presentations just sharing a bunch of information and doing all the talking. That was one of the things I noticed in the comments as well, is she's not listening, Cheryl said. She's very pushy, Cindy mentioned. Harry, she's reading notes. She's not getting to know what I was looking for in that scenario. Way too much information, not listening to what I was looking for. So exactly, these things are exactly what we can sometimes end up throwing into our JV meeting, even unintentionally. We can end up getting caught up in some of this. So hopefully by watching an example like this, by talking about it, guys, by getting it in your head, that, these are the things we don't want to do. When we do sit down and with a potential partner, we can be a little bit more relaxed, and you're going to see the difference in our what to do video. Let's see, what else? Do you remember the ROI that she projected for this property? If somebody is coming to and they're projecting an 80% return on my investment in the first year, they better darn well be able to back up that prediction and show me exactly why they're going to get I'm going to get 80% return on my money. Is it possible? It might be, but it's that a number like that is usually a pie in the sky number, and something that is absolutely just going to make me as a financial partner turn away, unless it can be totally backed up with proper numbers. So we want to always promise on the low side. And, when we're talking to a potential partner, we're wanting to impress them. And that makes sense. We want to tell them all the good things about our market, or all the good things about the property, and how we're going to make money and a good return they're going to get. But we have found it's always better to under promise and then over deliver. So under promise, guys, when it comes to your ROIs. Put your rents, if market rent is $1,500, put yours at $1,450. If I don't know what else, if the interest rate on your mortgage is, you can get 2.5 in today's market, well, make it 3 on the cash flow sheet that you're going to be sharing with them. So, be conservative, because we know that these things go up and down and they can change. So the more conservative you are in the numbers, what happens? Your potential partners are going to see this person's being realistic, and that builds confidence. And that's really what you're wanting to do in this scenario. Okay, yeah, I want 80% in 1 year. That's right, Karina. We all do, right? Yeah, but if you're getting that as a projection, we might get 80% in a year, but how much better is it going to be if we were expecting 40 and we got 80? But if we're expecting 80 and we get 20, or we get 40, we're not going to be too happy, are we? So under promise and over deliver, absolutely super important. And did you notice where I was looking? What was I paying attention to in that scenario? I wasn't really paying attention to anything she was telling me or trying to show me. I was bored to heck, because she wasn't concerned about the things that I was looking for in that JV relationship. And one other thing I wanted to point out at the very beginning. Do you remember she was late. She went to go get her coffee, and then what did she say as soon as she sat down? She said, "Just give me a second so I can get ready." And it's kind of subtle, but when somebody says, "Give me a minute because I just want to get ready," what goes through your mind if you're the person on the other side? Well, okay, what are they getting ready for? And you're kind of bracing yourself for the oncoming sales pitch, right? So, and that is probably one of the most common things we've seen in the JV meeting is when we've sat down with a lot of working partners, and, just as they're about to get going, they might say, "Hi, how's it going?" "Good, good. Thanks for coming. Just give me 1 sec so I can get my stuff together," or "Just give me 1 sec so I can get ready." It just all of a sudden means that this is now a pitch versus a conversation. So we want to make sure at the very beginning we're not doing something. It's just a subtle thing, but in the back of our potential JV partner's mind, they're bracing themselves for a sales pitch. Yes, absolutely. So these are the things, guys. I hope you got those points out of it. Now, that was what not to do. Now, we're going to watch a video on what to do, and we're going to see the difference between these two presentations. This one's a little longer, but you're going to get a lot of good points out of this one too. And at the end, we threw in a bunch of questions that are common questions that a financial partner is going to ask you at this meeting. How do you answer them? So near the end of this video, you're going to see how to answer those questions. Okay, so we're going to do that now. We're going to watch that. And as we're going through it, pick out the points and put it in the comments. What things did you notice that are good, that are better than the last one, that Tiffany did properly. And again, in this scenario, I again am the financial partner, and Tiffany is the working partner, and we're meeting at a coffee shop. Okay, that's the idea here. So let me just bring this up, make sure I got it ready, and here we go, guys. Hey, Tiffany.
Hey, Corey.
Thank you so much for the coffee. That was awesome, not having to stand in that long lineup.
No worries. Yeah, I thought, okay.
Sorry, I'm going to interject here, guys, because I forgot. I'm the working partner in this scenario, and Tiffany is the financial partner. Okay, so I should just clarify that before we go in. So we switched roles in this one, and she is the financial partner in this scenario. So where do we go from here? Okay, let's watch this again.
When I saw the line, I'm like, I'm just going to prepay for 2 and then, save you a little bit of time.
I appreciate it.
Good. Yeah. You seem like you had a pretty busy day. So thank you for meeting with me. I appreciate it. Sounds like you're a busy guy.
Yeah, it's been go, go, go lately. So
yeah.
I don't know what it is, but with family and with work, with everything going on, it seems like I'm always running into something.
Yeah. Well, so was it a kids hockey tournament that you, or just a game, your son's hockey game that you went to this morning?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
I went to a game. I'm not coaching. No, I'm hoping to do that one of these times, one of these years.
Yeah.
I've been saying that for a couple of years now. It's definitely one of my goals. I'd love to get more involved, but again, I just, I haven't been able to find the time to do that. So, but one of these days I'm going to.
Nice.
Yeah.
So were you guys able, last time I talked to you, you had mentioned doing a motorhome trip across the Maritimes or across the country maybe in the summer. So did you guys end up doing that?
You know what? We haven't. Again, one of those things that I want to do. We have such a beautiful country here, and I've always just kind of wanted to go from one end to the other, take our time, whether it takes a month or 2 months, whatever it takes, just see the country.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to interject one more time. I made a mistake there. So I am the financial partner. I just want to clarify that. And yes, Tiffany is doing the same role as the last time. So yes, you'll notice I see some of the comments already. She's interested in Corey's life. She's asking me questions. What a different start from the first time. Do you remember the first time she was late? She went and got a coffee after I was there, but in this time, she had the coffee ready for me. And I just had to go up and grab it from the barista. So these are little things that we did that made our meetings go so much clearer. So we're going to go back to it now. I just want to clarify again, because I made a mistake there, that I am the financial partner and Tiffany is the working partner. Let's see how she handles this JV meeting. Okay, here we go. Take the family, but I can't take a month off of work right now. So I'm hoping eventually, and maybe next year or the year after. I don't want to be putting it off forever, but it's one of my goals for sure.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
It would be fun, I think.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, you know what? And that's why I thought, I'm going to ask you for this meeting, because I noticed that you're busy, but yet, you've been interested in real estate for a while. We've met a couple times over the last year, briefly at events. And I thought, I'm going to ask you for that meeting, because I feel like there might be a fit here. You're busy. You don't have time. I've been in a position, thank goodness, that I've been able to clear up my schedule, like work-wise, and be able to really focus on this and focus on real estate. My husband and I have some pretty lofty goals for what we want to buy this year.
Yeah, that's what you were saying.
So
good for you.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. But we definitely will need partners, because we won't be able to do it on our own. I thought your shortage of time and my, having cleared my schedule and being able to keep up with focusing on it might be okay. So yeah, thanks for meeting with me. It's
Yeah, no problem. It's definitely an interest of mine. I know real estate is where I want to put my money, and I haven't been able to find something that fits all of my boxes. And I can go on the computer. Next thing I know, 2 or 3 hours has gone by, and I'm just looking at properties and pictures, and then I got to figure out the numbers. And to be honest with you, I understand it all, but I'm starting to get frustrated. I want to do something.
Yeah.
But I'm when you mentioned joint venturing, I thought that might be a good fit.
Awesome. So, okay, I thought I'd kind of explain to you what a joint venture means to me and to my husband, because it's different for everybody.
Sure.
The typical joint venture is kind of what we stick to, though. So it's 50-50. So you're bringing one asset, I'm bringing another asset. My asset is time, your asset is money. We're bringing it together, we're buying a property together. And for that, we're each going to get 50% of the profits.
Right.
So you will get your investment back first.
Right.
And then if there's any profits, mortgage pay down, cash flow, and depreciation, then we split that. Is that what you kind of understand it to be as well?
Yeah, I think, what, that makes sense to me. So, but just to clarify, you're not putting in 50% of the money.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, the asset I'm going to bring to the table is my time, my expertise, education, everything I've put into learning and systemizing my business to make things go well. That's what I'm bringing to the table. And you're bringing to the table the money and the ability to qualify for that money.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
And that's what you were thinking? Because sometimes people have a different kind of view of it, but we like to stick to kind of that typical 50-50 JV split.
Right. Yeah, no, that makes sense to me.
Okay, awesome. I thought too that I might show you a couple of properties that we have. We do buy a kind of specific type of property. And so I thought I'd show it to you, and then you can kind of let me know, yeah, that's what I'm looking for, both numbers wise and type of property. Or, no, that's not what I'm looking for. It's not my objective, and then we know.
Right. Okay.
Does that work for you?
Yeah, that works.
Okay, I brought a couple of things to show you.
Okay.
So the first thing, I probably like to start with kind of showing you the type of property that we buy. So this is just an ad that I take around to schools and daycares and drugstores and stuff when we have a property for rent. So, but it gives us a good kind of overview. So, as you can see, this is the type of property. It's not huge.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, really cute, clean, open, big windows.
Yeah.
I can attract a really good tenant profile doing this. So they're higher income, they take care of their places, they're easy for me to manage, decently easy.
Yeah.
So this is one type.
Okay. No, I like that.
This is another type. So again, these aren't too far away from each other, like physically. I can kind of really focus my advertising efforts and that sort of thing in certain areas.
Right.
We like to watch for, new transportation changes coming in. We know that if it makes it faster for people to get to and from work or whatever, they're going to want to live there. Things like jobs coming into the area. We always watch for, new employers, new schools opening, that sort of thing. So that's why we kind of focus in certain areas.
That makes sense, yeah.
So this is the type of property that we usually look to be buying in those areas.
You know what, I was looking at some properties like that, but to me, the numbers didn't seem to really work. That was kind of part of my frustration is I'd find a great property, but then, the numbers didn't seem to work. Or I'd find one where the numbers were great, but then it was in a horrible area of town.
I know.
So
that whole song and dance with finding properties.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Now that we're buying so consistently and we have everything systemized, so our realtors, they know us. We know them. They know how we work. We systemize things down. It's so much easier, but I remember the frustration. Like it just feels like you're spinning your wheels, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me show you the numbers for this, for those types of places.
Okay.
All your expenses, your cash flow, how much rent we're getting. So you can see your cash flow. You can see the purchase price of this property.
It's actually not a bad price for a property like that.
Yeah, for sure. It's great. It's amazing how when you actually have a system in place, how you can start finding these more and more within this price point.
Right.
Which of course helps in your cash flow.
I can see why cash flows, yeah.
Yeah. So this here is the down payment amount. Now, a couple things. It's got things like our legal fees and inspection. But notice here also, we have included a reserve fund.
Okay.
So that reserve fund is, we keep it in place just for things that are going to come up. I'm not very good about asking people for money. So I would dread a phone call where I'd had to ask you to send me a check for something.
Right.
So this reserve fund
I think I dread that phone call too.
Right? Yeah, not very fun. So this kind of keeps those kinds of things out of the way. So we take care of that at the beginning. That
Right.
sits in the bank account.
Okay.
It's just for emergencies.
Okay.
If
I
a
like that
fridge
idea.
breaks down,
Yeah.
if there's a vacancy,
Right.
things that happen, I don't have to be bothering you with every little thing that happens.
Right.
And then, so all of those things, including the reserve fund added up, this makes for your down payment amount. Now, I don't know if this is, within the ballpark of what you're looking for. Is it?
So, okay, so the down payment is 97,000
Mm-hmm.
plus the purchase costs.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the amount that I would actually be investing.
Right. So
Okay.
this is the amount that we actually need on a check
So
in order to close
105,000 roughly.
on
Okay.
this property.
Okay.
Right.
You know what? That fits exactly with the type of property that I like. It cash flows really well. And, I do have the cash available for a property like this, and possibly even, I might be able to do two if the first one works out. So yeah, I think this looks like what I've been searching for and haven't been able to find.
Awesome. Right
Yeah.
on. Well, like I said, this
But
one
this
is
one
gone.
is, yeah, this
Yeah,
one's
but that's
gone.
okay. That's okay.
I should have met with you last week.
Yeah, no, it's okay. We will find you something very, very similar.
Okay.
Numbers wise, they've all worked out the same. Now, again, we only have a handful of properties right now, but we are really finding that we can systemize this whole thing. And if we need to find something, we've been able to find it.
Right.
So
Okay.
now, that having been said, sometimes we have to move a little quick. So I probably won't go shopping for you until we, kind of have things in place and know exactly what we're doing.
Right. No, that makes sense. Okay, so I have some questions for you.
Yeah, for sure.
So 105,000 is what I'm investing as far as money is concerned, and I would be qualifying for the mortgage as well.
Correct.
So how do you guarantee my money?
Well, good question. I would love to guarantee your money, but I can't. So there's a couple ways though where you are protected.
Okay.
So first off, your name is on title. So you are the owner of this house, not me.
Okay.
So your $105,000 that you're putting down is sitting as equity immediately in the
Right.
property.
Yeah.
I will put a caveat on that property so that my interests are protected as well. You can't sell it out from under me.
Right.
But technically, you are the owner, and so you've got security there. Secondly, though, remember in our joint venture agreement, my asset is time.
Right.
So if I'm coming to you and I have a property that I don't make successful, I don't make it cash flow, I don't manage it well enough to have, good tenants and have it go up in equity and appreciate, I'm not going to get paid. Because
Right.
I'm only getting paid if there's profit.
Yeah.
So not that that's a guarantee for you, but I can tell you, I don't really like working for free,
Mhm.
and I don't plan
Yeah.
on it.
I don't blame you.
Yeah. So, I do have a vested interest in making sure that this property is really successful for both of us. And with you being on title and being the owner of the property, there's some security in there as well.
Yeah. Okay. No, that makes sense. If I'm the one on title, then that does make me feel secure. I appreciate you saying that you can't guarantee my money. I mean, there's really no investment out there, I guess, where your money is, 100% guaranteed. So,
Yeah.
So that's good. Makes sense to me. So, what if I need out? So let's say I give you my 105,000. We buy this property together, and something comes up where I need the money. How does that work?
So it's pretty simple, actually. Our joint venture agreement does take care of that. So there's a couple of things, clauses that go in there. So the best one, it's called the shotgun clause. Basically, so when you were a kid and there's one piece of pie left, and your mom said to you, okay, you're going to cut the pie, but your brother is going to choose which piece he takes. So if you cut it unevenly, you could bet on it your brother's going to take the bigger piece, right?
Right. Yeah.
So keeps you both honest.
Yeah.
Same kind of idea.
Okay.
So basically, whoever needs out is going to state a price. So if you need out,
Okay.
you're going to say, this is how much I need for it.
Right.
Now I'm going to decide, am I going to buy the property from you for that price?
Right.
Or are you going to buy it from me for that price?
Right.
Or do we want to just sell that property and end our joint venture?
Right.
Which is quite often, I believe, the way things turn out as well.
Right.
So basically, we'll make it work. And then we have the joint venture agreement that says, this is how we're going to handle it if something unforeseen comes up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that makes sense. Okay, guys, we're gonna stop it there. There's about another 10 minutes or so of the video, 7 or 8 minutes, something like that, and more questions are answered. But unfortunately, we don't have the time to go through all of that tonight. I noticed a couple of questions here about. How can I watch this again? This is one of the lessons, one of the 100+ lessons that are in our Ignited program. So, our Ignited members, if you're an Ignited member, you can watch this over and over again. You can pick this stuff out. If you want to watch it again, this recording on Fearless, it will, you can watch it as many times as you want. It's here within Fearless. Okay, so what did we get from this? What did we get from this, guys? What are some of the things that you noticed in this example that were better than the first one? I'm sure you noticed quite a few. Let's start at the very beginning. We talked about this a little bit already. Tiffany was there first. That's what confused me with this. I forgot that. Tiffany was there first. And she had my coffee ready for me. Just a little side note on that. We used to just go and have it prepaid. Our JV partner would skip the line and walk right up there and let the barista know what they wanted. And they would make it up right away. That sped up the whole process. It was, not one person standing in line, the other person sitting there, and it's awkward. Worst case scenario, we would hand them a gift card and say, hey, go get whatever it is that you'd like. If it wasn't a busy coffee shop. So just that little gesture can go a long way to building confidence. You're there early, you're organized, you're already treating them and thinking about them. How do you think a financial partner is going to feel versus the first time when somebody comes in late and it's all big difference? First impressions make a big deal. And these meetings, by the way, we suggest them to be 15, 20 minutes long. You don't want to sit there for 2 hours. You don't want to drag it on. Be respectful of their time. Take 15 or 20 minutes, have a conversation, and then you'll know. You'll have a feeling, they'll have a feeling leaving that meeting, whether it's something that you end up going forward with or not. Cindy, you're right. Relevant information and not a bunch of irrelevant information. So important. When we start sharing information, we want to share information that makes that they're looking for, questions that they want answered. So, one of the things that happened at the very, very beginning is a conversation was started. Do you remember that, guys? What was she asking me about? She was asking about my kid in hockey. She was asking me about my motorhome trip. How did she know that? These are things that she remembered and picked up from previous conversations and just continued on with the same conversation. It wasn't starting a sales pitch. It was just kind of like, yeah, so what's going on? What's new? And getting to know me. And what did she find out from me as a financial partner that she wouldn't have known otherwise that I was lacking? I didn't have what to do the motorhome trip. I didn't have what to be able to coach my son's hockey. I didn't have time. So she knew I was lacking time. I had the money to invest, but I was lacking the time to do it and lacking the time to do it myself. That's where she comes in. Do you remember when she clarified the JV relationship and the assets that we bring to the table? She clarified that I'm bringing the money. She brings what? She brings the time. She found my problem and she brought a solution. That's what we need to do in these conversations, guys. We need to get to know somebody else. We need to build a relationship. We need to find their problem, why they're not doing it themselves already, and fix that problem for us. If they're lacking time, then we tell them we have the time, because that's what we as working partners are able to do. If they don't have any renovation experience, we can tell them we can bring renovation experience or a team to the table. If they don't have time to research what type of markets or find properties that cash flow, we have the ability to bring that to the table. We can solve the problem that they have. If we're having a conversation with somebody and we find out they're not doing this because of some reason, they got a problem of some sort, we need to find the solution for that problem. And that's what the purpose of this JV meeting is to do. It's to clarify that. Okay, so I'm going to have a look. Yes, you guys are right. You're dead on time. That's what she was missing. What else here? Let's see. She knew her numbers. She wasn't throwing out pie in the sky numbers. How did she get? Do you remember the first example? She asked me, how much money do you have and how many mortgages can you qualify for? How did she find out how much money I had? Do you remember from the example? I'm going to wait for the comments on this one because this is important. This is a sticking point where people, well, yeah, they want to invest, but I'm not really quite sure how much money they have. I'm not sure what kind of properties to start shopping for. We need to know if somebody's going to invest with us, what they're comfortable investing with us. But we don't want to come right out and say, do you have $100,000? How much money do you have? How many mortgages can you qualify? We don't want to say that kind of questions. We don't want to put people on the spot. You told her 105 was good and that you might buy 2. That's exactly right, Sean. She found out I had roughly around 200,000 to invest in this scenario. And she pointed to it on the cash flow sheet that she was sharing with me and said, this is what we're looking for on this investment. And she specifically said, this makes for your down payment amount, or this is the amount of the initial investment that we would need from you. And leave it at that. You know, somebody can either say, okay, that's a little higher than I was thinking, or somebody might say, okay, I'd like to do 5 or 10 of those. And we've had that. So that's how we found out, you know, where this JV relationship was going to go, was simply by pointing to the initial investment and saying, what do you think about that? So really, really subtle stuff, but very important stuff when it comes to these JV meetings to make sure that that we understand. And at the very end of it all, and you know, we didn't get to it in this video, but one of the things we always suggest is just telling your financial partner that I'm going to summarize everything we talked about here today, and I'll send you an email summarizing everything we've talked about. And why would we do that? Well, we would do that just to make sure, to clarify, to have it a little bit in writing. It's informal, but have it in writing. To make sure that we're on the same page. Just to be clear, that's what financial partners are looking for. They're looking for somebody to be clear in the numbers, clear in the intentions, not to be hiding anything, to make sure that I understand everything, make sure we're on the same page, to put it down in writing in front of me so I can read it. And if I don't understand it, I can read it a second time and a third time until I understand it. So these are the things that are super, super important in this JV meeting. But let's ask you a question now, guys. Out of everything that you saw in the bad one and the good one, what not to do and what to do, what is one main point, one takeaway that you would take from this that you feel is super, super important? What is one point that you feel is the most important point in this JV meeting and doing it correctly? And I'm just going to wait for your comments and see what you guys think on that, okay? And while I'm waiting, yes, Cindy, she asked, is this what you had in mind? Yeah, exactly. It was an open-ended question, not a yes or no question. Absolutely. Clear and forthcoming with information. Yeah. Okay. So here's some things. Build a relationship. Cheryl says, being prepared for the meeting. One of our Facebook users, I'm not sure who that is. Great communication skills, knowing to ask the right questions. It's about the financial partner and his goals. Absolutely, Kevin. Super important. Eye contact and being a good human and listening. That's super important. Chris, openly communicate. These are the things we need to do in our JV meetings. If I was to summarize the one thing to remember and the one thing to take away from this, guys, it would be this. It's a conversation. In fact, I would summarize it by saying it's just a conversation. And I think that that's the number one thing that I would like you to take away from this. And the reason for that is because it's not a sales pitch. And if we go in trying to pitch something, chances are we're not going to get what we're looking for. But if we're going in to find out a pain point, if we're going in to have a conversation, if we're going in to fix somebody's problems, if we're going in to help them, and we just communicate and have a conversation, and we don't come across as we're trying to sell something or get money from them or ask them for money, a massive transformation happens during this meeting. So keep these points in mind, guys. We went over so many different points in what not to do, what to do, but just remember, if you are meeting with somebody that potentially is going to invest with you, just sit down and have a conversation with them. And what does that enable you to do? It enables you to relax. It enables you to have less stress. You don't have to prepare a speech. Yes, you need to be prepared. You need to be able to show a type of property or examples, what you like to invest in, maybe some numbers. But the point of this conversation is not to get detailed in all of that. The point of this conversation is communicate and build a relationship. And if you can relieve the stress of not having to prepare a big speech, but instead just try to remember some of the things that they're interested in and remember to ask them questions, it's going to take off a lot of the stress off of your shoulders, and you're going to find it so much easier to be able to close one of these GVs and have a financial partner that is going to qualify for mortgages for you, is going to put the money down for the down payment and the whole initial investment for you. And you can go out there and find great properties for them. That's what this is all about. Making a win-win scenario. All right, guys, that's our training for this week. I hope you got some points from it. I hope that you found some things that you can put into practice when you have your JV meeting, when some of those seeds that we talked about in boot camp, some of those seeds start to sprout, and you sit down with somebody. This is what you do. This is the next step, and that's the JV meeting. Okay, some good announcements, guys, coming. You have likely seen our itinerary for our Investor Life tour that we're starting. We actually start 1 week from today. We're going to be in Calgary. The location is going to be put as an event within the group here, and it's going to be super cool. And this is what we're doing next week. Next week's live here in Fearless, our live Tactical Tuesday training, we're going to be doing at our Fearless meetup. So if you're at our meetup next week in Calgary, then you can be a part of our Tactical Tuesday training next week. And so it's going to be really cool. We're going to go off into a separate room, and we're going to be doing our training, and everybody for the Fearless meetup is going to be hanging out. We're going to do some great networking, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you're in the Calgary area next Tuesday, make sure to come out to our Fearless meetup. We're going to be bringing the bus down there, and we'd love to see you. And our tour starts. 2 weeks after that, we're in Edmonton, and it goes on from there. And we're going to be heading all across to Eastern Canada. And we're hoping to get British Columbia in as well, maybe at the tail end of our trip. But with everything going on there right now and the restrictions in place for get-togethers, it just doesn't make sense for us to be going there right now. But we are coming out east. Okay, so we're excited about that. And hopefully you guys, we can see all of you in Calgary that are in that area, and all of you across the rest of the country as we go across and we do our tour. Okay, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Thanks for joining us this week, guys, and take care. And remember these points. Have a conversation when it comes to your JV meetings.